I like the headband.
Dude, rocking that Joe Burrow, bro.
Heck yeah.
It's headband season. I think Joe Burrow has officially shown everyone that it is headband season. So let's roll.
Yeah, I like it. The longer hair
Right?
is nice. Keeps your
Growing
hair
up.
out of your eyes, keeps the sweat off your forehead. You're just ready at all times.
Dude, heck yeah, man. Um, yeah, he just looked so good. Like it's just like the I think that's the hairstyle I want to rock with. He rocks it so well. He's just America's best looking man. How you doing, buddy? So you said what was the score of the game for the Celtics Heat?
What I just checked, it was, I think, 36-35 Boston. I think it said like 4 minutes ago or something like that in the second quarter.
Yeah, now we
Uh,
got 44-45 Miami. All right. This is getting interesting. I know me and you were kind of just talking beforehand, and we're going to talk about it now tonight, Heat and Celtics. I think, we mentioned it last week, but and again, I still don't want to jinx the Heat here. And I have made a good chunk of coin this last week betting on the Heat.
yeah.
I got them first two games plus 300. And then Friday, they were up 4, and I got a lot live line for plus 200. And
Nice.
then they went down 8. And then I look back up, and it's a tie game again. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stop watching and let this thing ride. Woke up a richer man. So, um, I was afraid to take them tonight. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, the odds of both conference finals being a sweep is that's just
The
unheard of.
NBA doesn't want that. The
Well,
sponsors don't want that. The
yeah,
media doesn't want that.
but no, it's funny you say the NBA doesn't want it because I was telling you, if both teams or both series end in sweeps, now that we know the Lakers Nuggets have already ended in a sweep, technically game 1 of the NBA finals isn't scheduled until next Thursday. So what the NBA's got like a whole week to be like, uh-oh, what are we supposed to do here? And then the amount of revenue that the Celtics are going to lose
Yeah.
another game, like a home game. So the Celtics lose out on that. I know like the Lakers, they're losing out on playoff games. I mean, that's less games the NBA is going to be streaming, so that's less views for them. So it's like, yeah, I don't think that they want these to both be sweeps, business wise.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if if in the second half here we start seeing some ticky tacky calls here from the Heat official towards the Heat. But we said it once, we'll say it again. Do not bet against playoff Jimmy.
Nope.
The dude
He
has,
looks. When I was telling you about him being at my cousin's fiance's basketball game the other night, he was in the zone there. Even had hat on, hoodie up, and like he was looking forward. But like it, she said, I was being told like in the video I saw, he just looked like he was ready to play at that moment.
dude. I mean, the dude just breeds just confidence. And I think he is in complete control of the game and the series right now. And he is living rent free in the Boston Celtics heads. Um, I think this goes the exact same thing we were talking about last week, which is if the Celtics, if Jason Tatum doesn't come out and play, then the Heat win this series. And so far, Jason Tatum hasn't shown up in the second half of all these games. I don't even think he scored a point in the second game. Yeah, I mean, it's just he's gone missing in the second half of these games, and you could tell as someone who that team is built around, he can't be playing like that. And the Heat have been just playing consistent. I mean, they put up it was like a 20 spot on them on the last game, So, and I think that's tough. You win 2 in Boston. That's
Yeah,
tough.
we talked about it though multiple times though. He's a fair weather player. When things are going good, he gets excited, he does well. But whenever they get down, it just seems like he just shuts down and gives up. And like that game, then they got blew out the whole team started just walking up and down the court. I don't care if you're down by 20. It's still the playoffs, and you're on national TV. Just have a little bit of pride.
Yeah, he doesn't. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's like trouble in house. I don't know why he's choosing to do this. Something happened after the All-Star break. I don't know what it is. Um, I don't I don't know what the season's supposed to look like for the Celtics going into next year if they get swept here because they have too much talent. This
Yeah,
shouldn't be happening for what's going on. And again, we've said it. I feel like again after All Star break, how many times were Celtics just like huge favorites and getting beat? It's like they almost were like, "Oh, we're in," and they just didn't
yeah,
get better. You know?
yeah. It almost seems like there's something going on that they aren't a great team. I don't know
No,
if that's Missoula, if that's coaching, if he's not able to bring them together, or if there's someone in there that is cancerous in the locker room, if it is Tatum or if it's somebody else, but they don't seem like they all have each other's backs.
no, it doesn't. And it's showing up on the court now. So you have to ask yourself, like I know there was even mentions of like Brown saying that he kind of was wanting out. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like all is well in Boston right now.
Mhm.
And it's starting to trickle, or it is trickling substantially onto the court now. So, um, let's go Heat. Let's see if they can get it done. And uh, that would be crazy if both series ended in a sweep. Lakers Nuggets did not see this one happening, but it just kind of proves to show how dominant the Nuggets are and
Yeah,
how scary of a team they are. And team, I think that's the thing, right? Team
they're a
basketball.
great team.
Like, yeah, I get Jokic is a great player, but like Jokic is a great facilitator and he's got a lot of guys around him that can also play basketball. So they destroyed the Lakers to the fact where now LeBron,
Considering retirement after that.
what's your
Wow.
thoughts? What's your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, I don't think he's going to do it, but one of the theories I have heard is that teams or people are saying that speculating that he could take a year off, rest his body up, follow his kids around, go to all their games, and then next year, wherever Bronny gets drafted to, he could fulfill his dream. But there was also the quote from LeBron of, yeah, it may be my dream to play with him, but it may not be his. So,
That's an interesting point.
yeah,
I
that
didn't
was,
think
I
about
felt
that.
like a deep comment and maybe almost makes you question if they had a conversation about it. And he told him he didn't want to play with them, which
Yeah.
be weird, be different, but why would he
Yeah,
say
right.
that?
Talk about awkward family dinner time right there.
Yeah.
Um, hey dad, I actually don't want to play with you. You should retire. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be so cool. Now, I think, come on, as a Cleveland fan, you have to be thinking they do this in Cleveland. I mean, am
That
I
would be the
wrong?
best place for it to happen, but
So are you
we
hoping
don't
that
have a
that's what
first round.
happens?
We don't have a first round pick for how many years now after the Donovan Mitchell trade. I think 2025 is our next first round pick. So, and they're saying that Bronny's possibly a low end lottery pick. So, I mean, just it would be awesome. I would always welcome him back with open arms. It's the only championship I've got to see in Cleveland in my life. So yeah, I would love to have LeBron and Bronny back in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what Bronny does here at USC.
Mm.
And I love that Rodman's son's going there too. I think that that's
Yeah,
super cool. I think that that's an awesome just story in itself. But yeah, we'll see how he handles college, and then what does that mean? Is he going to enter the draft? Like, yeah, I guess it'll be,
probably a one and done.
yeah, right. It'll be interesting to see how this all kind of plays out for sure. But
But the thing is, though, they get paid so much in college nowadays, you don't have to go right to the league.
look at like
He's
Kate.
making millions of dollars already.
Look at, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, those girls,
Well, I
Caitlin,
think Bronny's getting like either $7 or $9 million a year
yeah,
in
I think,
NIL.
yeah,
That's
that's awesome. Fantastic. I
yeah.
wish, where was NIL when we played?
Yeah.
Um, God.
I would have
Uh,
liked my, $5,000 a year.
yeah,
Why not?
I would have loved it. So you don't think, all right. So I like that option. I like one of those options. LeBron, I think that could be is LeBron taking a year off. I mean, that's not crazy considering like tons of professional athletes have done that before. Like, I mean, Michael Jordan even went and played a whole nother sport, came back and like was still great. Um, so do you think do you see a scenario where he stays with the Lakers?
Yeah. I just keep seeing a picture floating around of him and Kyrie together and AD all in Lakers uniforms. And I know they had their issues, but those guys are great together.
Yeah, and like I feel like was it like more of like issues or just like Kyrie
Kyrie
just
was
think he
immature.
can, yeah, I think he just wanted to prove that he could do it without him. Like, not that he like didn't like him, it just was like he didn't like being in the shadow maybe too much.
I don't think he understood how good he had it
Yeah,
and how the things they were doing going to the finals year after year like that isn't an easy thing to do.
yeah,
And that was something special that he kind of broke up.
and it makes you wonder how many championships the Cavs would have right now if that wouldn't have happened.
I mean, that team stays together. It may have been 7 straight years of Cleveland Golden State in the finals.
I mean, I don't. No, I'm not. Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that at all. Um, well, not to take away though from the Nuggets. Man, Jokic, just what an animal. I mean, when the team needs him, puts the team on his back. I think it's just so fun watching him play. He just plays this just like kind of old school, like Larry Bird style, but like also that new flavor too. Like he's not like stiff, like he can facilitate the ball, he
Yeah.
can rebound. He made AD, he put him in a box and it just God, I mean, I really thought he was MVP this year. And I think he's just like playing with a chip on his shoulder, huh?
Yeah. And that's the thing about him, though. I feel like if he wanted to go score 40 to 50 points a night, he could do it every single night. But going back to what we were talking about earlier, them being a team, he always is trying to make the right play, doesn't care what it is.
No.
And that's what I feel like makes him so great is because he's not trying to do anything too fast. He's not trying to worry about himself. He just sits back, goes through his routine, goes through where he needs to be, and just takes whatever's there.
Yep. And I very rarely see him take like forced or bad shots.
It's always at the end of a shot clock when there's no other
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, this brings up though, with Jokic though, this brings up the point that I would like to talk about. If the Heat do win the series, there's some bad blood there. Jokic and Morris got into it early in the season, and there's Jimmy Butler yelling across the bench, "Let's go take it out back." How exciting does that? I mean, do you think that
ooh, that
that's still
sounds fun.
right? Like, do you think that's still
Oh
there?
yeah,
Like,
for
and
sure.
like, right? And like, could we see like a real scrapper of a NBA Finals?
Oh, man, that'd be fun. I'd love to see it. The only thing
Right?
I'm worried about is poor old Kevin down there and getting taken out by Jokic.
See, that's where you just say, Kevin,
Like,
go get
just get out of.
go. You're an enforcer, buddy. That's your job. Go take one for the team, man. Um,
Man,
maybe
you
even
go
see
break it in.
Udonis. Maybe even see Udonis Haslam just suit up
Yeah,
for one
just
more game.
just to come in for just one fight.
Hey, go punch him right in the face, and then
Yeah,
you're out. You're good. We'll pay the fine.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think I would. I think a Heat Nuggets finals would be super awesome to watch.
That's
Um,
gonna be fun.
but you can't really ever count out the Celtics until the buzzer. But um, I would be excited for a Heat Nuggets finals. All right, switching gears. Aaron Rodgers hurts his calf. Yet somehow this man,
Did Zach Wilson have something to do with this?
yet somehow this man still is getting news brought up about him. Yeah, I think it was. I think Zach Wilson. I think there's hidden footage of Zach Wilson just cleating his calf in stretch lines. Um, I don't know. Is this though? But here's the thing: is like I get it's a calf injury now, but this is like we're only in like OTA. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's not
mean,
a young man.
that was gonna be my point. Is if it's a calf injury now, what is this going to trend? Is this something where we just wash it away, just like it's a freak injury, or like is this really what we were kind of talking about? Is Aaron, can he keep doing this?
Man, I don't know. It's those lower body injuries can be debilitating, especially as you get older, and one thing leads to another. He ends up that, I don't know which one it is, right, left calf, whichever, trying to favor it a little bit, doing a little too much on the other leg. Next thing you know, you tweak your knee. Just goes from the calf to the knee on the other side, and then just one thing leads to another. You can't heal as fast as you once did. I hope it's not. I want to see this team. I mean, I know both our teams are in the AFC, but I want to see what that team can be like fully pumping with Aaron Rodgers.
I would
I'm a
love for him.
Buckeyes fan. Like, I want to see what he can do for Garrett Wilson.
I would love to see the Jets whoop up on the Pats. I think that'd be hilarious.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but I tell you what though, if it ends up being Zach Wilson as a guy and he fails with this offense, I think at that point you just have to say like, what's your excuse, buddy? Because the Jets offense is
yeah,
top level right now in
yeah,
terms of weapons. So there's no excuses, right? Like no excuses if even
yeah.
Zach
Tons
Wilson,
out
yeah,
there.
you could put Trent Dilfer back there. That 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 offense is loaded right now. They just need someone who's not going to turn the ball over and not injure his calf. But man, the Jets have a lot of money invested in Rodgers right now. So for him to get taken out with a calf injury,
And
that's wild.
it could be really nothing, but they just saw him walk funny, and he said, my calf felt a little funny," and they're like, "Yep,
Well,
go stretch, go sit on the sidelines. We know what you can do already. We don't want you getting hurt."
I hope Aaron is fine. I don't ever want to wish an injury on anyone. Like you said, I want to see what the Jets do this year. I want to see Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers, be successful. So I hope he has a speedy recovery. But wow, what crazy timing, big hit for the Jets if they can't figure that one out. Um, all right, now let's talk about a little golf. So let's start off with the biggest one. I mean, talk about USGA Pro, Michael Block representing for the people. And I think this is what
hole
makes
in freaking one too.
a hole in
Yeah,
one to boot. Like,
what a story.
I mean, literally, you couldn't even like write it out. It's like literally, it's like I was watching Tin Cup. That's what it felt like I was watching, but real life. Um, but it just, it kind of like I've talked about this on other podcasts. That's what makes golf exciting is when it's not just like the pros, right? It's like it's the guys that it could be me or you out there. And like this is a little bit different because he actually is a pro and he's, good at golf, but it's like it's the average guys that are going and competing with the best of the best that you get behind because it feels like it's you. Feels like you're like I could go and do that, And that's what makes it. It's like I wish golf would take, like, they would put one guy, just like a 18 handicapper, just like a real high handicapper, and you can qualify to get that one spot just to see what would happen. Right? Like, just, and like,
Just see what they can do in the moment.
yeah, but Francis we met. It's kind of same, thing of like the underdog story. Cause like golf is truly a sport where anything crazy can happen. Um,
Mhm.
and it makes it more entertaining to root for those guys, you know? It's like sometimes, yeah, birdies are cool, but like I think it was Spieth had a couple bad iron shots and he's just cussing up a storm. It's like that's entertaining because it
Yeah,
makes you
it's
feel
like,
like
hey,
that's what.
that's like me out
Yeah,
there. I do that.
that's how I feel, man. So, but wow, what I mean, could you imagine like being in that guy's shoes?
Nah, that'd be just such a surreal feeling. And man, he played it so well too, pumping up the crowd, getting into. He acted like he had been there before, like it was just no thing, another day to him, just another day on the course. And I think that was part of maybe what made it so great. And I feel like there's going to be a documentary that comes out about that weekend about him at some point for sure. I don't care what happens the rest of his career, just like that weekend's enough for a story in itself.
Yeah, well, they were saying that the Full Swing Netflix crew was following him all week. So
Nah,
I wouldn't be surprised if
awesome.
he is in that. I was literally having on my I was in Tampa this weekend, so on my drive home, I was like, man, what if we got on that? We just made the movie. Right? I was like, maybe that's our end. I'll get Cam to be the videographer for that.
There we go.
Right? But yeah, what a story. I mean, it's one of those things you go in and you're just like, you're watching, you're like, wow, that's just it's just a feel good story. And I'm so happy for that guy. Now he's got two, actually, I think three now invites to other tournaments now. I think he's got, or I think it was two. I think he's definitely playing the Canadian one. He's playing the Charles Schwab this weekend. And that one was funny when they called him for the Charles Schwab. He was like, his tour, like the guy who owns the clubhouse, he was like, hey, I'm not coming to work next week. And like it was just like how cool is that,
That's
you
awesome.
know?
Yeah.
You know, him getting paired with Rory on the last day and like Rory coming up and celebrating his hole in one. He's looking at him like, what did I do? And he's like, you just hit in the hole. Like you said, just played it right like the whole time. What a guy. What a story. Um, and that was one of like the other bigger story here, which was Brooks Koepka, you know, winning, finally getting it done, you know, and what does that say about Live Golf now? Because they had three guys in the top six.
Yeah, there's definitely talent on both sides. So
So Phil Mickelson came out with a tweet and he was saying, you know, hey, this just proves that, you know, Live Golf is the best tour to be on because, and he brings up a good point for this. They play less tournaments, so they're not dragged down, they're not beat up for a whole season, and they have more time to focus on the four majors. Okay, so you got guys coming in fresh where, you know, a lot of these PGA Tour, they're playing every week. And it is a hustle, it is a grind. I mean, you're going practice rounds on Monday, practice rounds on Tuesday, practice rounds on Wednesday, then you're playing Thursday, Friday, if you make the cut, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday you're traveling to wherever you're going to be at for the next week. Like a lot of them are living out of suitcase. That's a grind, you know.
yeah,
Um, Live doesn't have to do that, and that's one of the main reasons, besides money, that a lot of like guys like DJ and a lot of these guys chose that. And with the success they've now had, because this in the Masters was the same thing. They had success in the Masters with a lot of their guys finishing in the top 10. Are they on to something?
yeah, I think so. I think we're going to start seeing more people start to jump ship and leave the PGA for the LIV.
Well, so and now though it brings up an even crazier question, and I'm glad that the announcers for this past weekend's tournament brought it up. But they were saying, you know, because I know there's big controversy right now, like not allowing live golfers on the Ryder Cup teams, and they were like, you know, these guys aren't playing for their tours when it comes to the Ryder Cup. They're playing for their country. Like,
Yeah.
and the truth of the matter is Brooks is the number two guy in the country, right? Like
Hmm.
he's in a like he should be allowed to represent our country, right? Because the
Yeah.
Europeans, are allowing those guys to play for their country. So this isn't a PGA Live thing. It's like we're all trying to be America's trying to take home the Ryder Cup. So, but yeah, Brooks, man, for him to be able to go through, I fell in love with him on Full Swing. His whole story of the riding the highest of the highs, and then hurting his knee and going lowest of the lows, and for him to even open up in that series and say when I was playing good, I didn't feel like I could be beat. And like, I'm at the point now where like, I don't feel like I'll ever be able to swing the golf club right again. And like, for him to go through that, like really hard emotional stuff and then be so close in the Masters. And he'll even say it, he's like, I choked in the Masters. And he was like, I'm not going to give away what I'm going to do, Saturday when they were interviewing, he's like, I'm not going to give away what I'm going to do, but I'm definitely prepared for this moment. And for him to go and dial in and win, I mean, I'm proud of the guy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
Another good story, right?
what it's all about.
That's it. That's what it's all about, man. Again, it makes tuning in for those things just fun to watch, especially especially when you got the no-name guy hitting a hole-in-one, golfing
Yeah,
with Rory. Um, all right. Yeah, wrapping it up. We had the
got an update on the
Preakness.
score.
Well,
I
that's
thought that's what you were pulling up there.
no, I was pulling up our last update, but Heat halftime 56-50. A lot can happen.
All right, I got
But
one question following up on that before we get into the
yeah,
final. Do you think the NBA moves it up if the series ends tonight, or do you think they give them 9 days off before they start the finals?
I think they started on I think they started I think they move it up for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
The question
I was
is
thinking maybe Sunday, Monday.
is it Sunday? Um with Saturday, I don't know if you do Saturday. I think you give the 2 days off or no, 3 days off. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with a travel day Saturday, and then you play on Sunday. I think a
Like
Sunday
that. And I
night
think
matchup.
Sunday would get the best views too. Everybody already being off, or most people being off work or being at home. So
Yeah, I think
they
Sunday
always
makes
look
the
at it
most
from the
sense.
business aspect. So that's how they can make the most money off of it too.
You have to, right? I don't think you wait a whole week. That just honestly just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then
But
the
that
only
just gives
reason
the
it's
chance of
the
leading
only,
to a lesser quality basketball too, because both the teams can get out of a rhythm in a week and a half of not playing a game.
yeah, the only reason it was supposed to be next Thursday is because both game sevens were supposed to wrap up like on Monday and Tuesday. So that was like 2 days before the finals. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think anyone was expecting this craziness to ensue, which is awesome. I mean, it's good. I mean, the right two teams, no matter what any of this, I think the right two teams are going to end up in the finals, whether it be the Celtics or the Heat. I think the Nuggets were the right team um for the West, and I think the East, the Celtics are here because we knew that they could. Um, and the Heat just won't go away. And I think that just goes to show what they've been doing all season, which was like being good enough to to get to the show, and they're showing why they're that good. I like it. Jimmy Butler came out with like a good quote. Like he's like, we really don't care what y'all think anymore. Like we don't care if you think we're gonna win. We don't care if you think we're gonna lose. We're the only ones that care about what we're gonna do. And I'm just like, so true. All
Yeah.
right, 50. They just hit a three, so 53-56. Start the third. It'll be interesting.
It'll be a
Tatum.
fun.
Well, here's the thing. Nope. Now it's 61-52. So there you go. Just like that. And we're back. I mean, and here's the thing though. Tatum is terrible in the second half.
Yeah.
That's just statistics right there. Like
Hmm.
if I wish I could take a live line right now for under points, rebounds, and assists 10 for Jason Tatum here in the second half.
Yeah. We've
Um,
seen it times.
right? But yeah, Preakness was this weekend. So I got to give a shout out to Randy, my dad. I had Mage for sure coming in on this one. as the winner. But that was before I'd done my research. And then Dad and I were doing our research, and we noticed that the one horse, and they snuck this in. So this was Bob Baffert's. It was a Bob Baffert horse, but he wasn't listed as like the primary owner trainer on the thing because he was with another guy on it. So if you had like the rate, you could read about it. And we were like, oh my God, this is a Bob Baffert horse. And this is the first pretty much race he's coming to be in since they got suspended at the Kentucky Derby. And I was like, and I have one big rule in horse race betting. Don't ever bet against Bob Baffert. And sure enough, this horse won. And now I'm getting flooded. Listen. Okay, I know there was some euthanasia talk with the horses. I understand that horse racing may not be the best thing for animals, but here's the deal. If they're going to allow the man to race a horse, I'm going to bet on him. All right. I'm not going to not bet on him. All right. Like, I'm sorry about what he does, but if they're going to allow the man to race a horse, I'm going to put money on him. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not betting on that horse because he euthanized a horse the race before. I'm very sorry that happened. It sounds like you all need to talk to the people who let him still race horses. But if they're going to put a horse with his name on it, I got to bet him because that's my money. All right. That's what but yeah, people have been flooding the comments, calling him a horse killer, calling me a supporter of horse killers. I just want to be very clear. I don't support killing horses, but I am financially, fiscally responsible when it comes to gambling on horses.
Hey, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Right? Right? Come on. I'm not the one who told him to kill the horse.
People make money on a lot worse things.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we've touched pretty much all bases. Hopefully, Guardians can start hitting the ball a little bit at some point this year. Finally had a home run out of the catcher slot last night. I think a few days ago we were 0-40 something for the month of May from our catcher slot.
Yikes.
So that's been pretty brutal to watch, but hey,
Yikes,
long
boys.
season. We're just
Long
gonna keep watching anyways.
long season. It really is. Well, you kind of talked about this earlier. Has there been any blowouts recently for the Guardians?
Uh, no, not really. Our pitching keeps us in games,
Well, there you
but
go.
we
So
just
you said that. You said that though.
2-0, 3-0.
You said you guys were gonna keep it close. So I have a fun baseball betting story for you. So I'm sitting with Tony because he's a Phillies fan, and we're looking up the score, and they were playing the Mets, I believe. I believe the Mets. And we were talking about I was like, hey man, how you like this pitcher? He's like, oh, this, Phillies pitcher, he's looking good. I was like, well, the hitting, you guys got beat last night. And he's like, yeah. I was like, it was the over was set at 9. It was plus 100. I was like, all right, you think they can get over 9? And he's like, you know what? I think it'll be over 9. All right. So I put money on over 9. Then I was like, you know what? Let's have fun in the first inning because I'm telling you right now, I don't think there's a better thrill than taking a nerfy bet. Like no run in the first inning. Like talk about just a roller coaster ride. So just because, we're a couple beers deep now, I already got money on this over. So I'm thinking to myself, let's go no runs first inning. Okay. So Phillies 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, great. 3 more outs. We're going to win this bet. The Mets pitcher, don't even know the guy's name, just goes to throw. I don't think he threw 1 strike in the first 4 batters. I don't think he threw. I don't think any ball. I think maybe 2 or 3 balls actually got to the catcher's mitt that didn't bounce on the ground. So now we got bases loaded. Okay. And there's batter takes a fly out. No bases move. It was like an infield fly. No bases moved. Here comes Schwarber. And something in this man's eyes just looked like he was going yard. And that little man sent that thing so far into the stands. I think it was like 450 feet. It was a moon shot. So now I'm
Right.
saying, okay, you know what? The Nerfy's done, but I'm halfway to the over. Okay.
Yeah.
2 batters later, 1 runner on. Next batter, bang, another home run. So now we are at 6 runs in the first inning. I go to check the live line on the over-under runs for the game. Phillies are set at over/under 9. It's a pick 'em. So just the Phillies. So I'm like, all right, the game ended up being like 12-1 or 12-2 or something like that. But that hit. I then also took Harper, had to just get 1.5 bases, and he'd already gotten 1 base. Yeah, had already hit 1 base. Very next bat, bang, got a double. So we got and it was just like, so fun day betting the Phillies in the baseball. But yeah, what a crazy turn of events is you have over 9 and 6 runs get scored in the first inning off of a grand slam and then a 2-run homer. That's just nuts.
Man, that's awesome.
Crazy, right? Yeah, you're just sitting there
Yeah.
just like drunk with your buddies, gambling on baseball overs. You know what? What better life is there? Right?
Can't
Um,
ask for much more.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, it was good chatting with you, man. Thank you everyone for
Yeah.
tuning in. Uh, we love all your support. We appreciate everything. Have a safe and fun week. I know we got Memorial Day coming up next week, so have a safe time. Thank you to all of our troops. Um, have a good time spending with your families, cooking, barbecuing. I know I got a golf tournament I'm playing in. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, be safe, have fun. And as always, keep the change.